Live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs, it's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
Is it just those guys on
just
camera?
Those guys.
It's Lewis and Jake. That's cool.
What's up, guys?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can.
Wait, how do we usually do this? We don't have my computer up.
Right.
We usually have your screen. So, welcome back to Amateur Hour, live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs. It's the First Dibs podcast. We are here. We're late. We had a busy day. We had to roll some race cars in and out of trailers.
Yes.
And then eat some, what were those things called? Reuben egg rolls.
Oh, those were delicious.
We had some Reuben egg rolls, so we're well fed. But we're a little behind the times. We're trying the old studio out again, and we forgot how to use it.
Yeah.
Justin just dropped a bomb. Tried our new toilet out.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
It
nice.
feels a little taller than the old one.
Yeah, maybe. It's
Is
definitely.
that why it smells bad in there?
No.
Yes, it is.
It's larger.
Not because of him, but because they had to use some plumbing supplies to like seal up joints. It's true.
Yeah.
So let's start off with business. Well, Brendan is doing his final few edits for our show, for our magazine here.
Okay. I need you to share your thing so that people can see what we're watching.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's been busy for business-wise.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. It's been very busy.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I got.
Let's see. Cars that came in recently.
Yeah.
There's a Mercedes with a sold tag
Right.
in the middle lot. That's about all I got.
Okay.
All right. Well, you work on you. We got to do something super fun yesterday.
Yes.
All three of the others of us, actually all four of the others of us, you were too late getting your request off in. So you weren't
yeah.
able to attend. But the Rocky Mountain Automotive Press Association.
Rocky Mountain driving experience.
Well, yes, the driving experience was the event, but the Rocky Mountain Automotive Press is the group.
Yes, correct.
RMAP.
Yep.
RMAP.
RMAP.
They host a driving event every year where esteemed members of the automotive press, like yours truly, attend and get to go drive cars.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's one time a year.
They do 2 events a year. They do this one in the late spring, early summer, and then they do 4 by fall, which is basically an off-road version of the same thing. They
Okay.
do that in late fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it was good. So we got to go, we drove a bunch of stuff. Highlights for me, Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack. Yeah.
I'm
EV.
surprised you said it all.
EV. Yeah. It's all the things.
Oh, nice.
You want to see it?
Not the Challenger, the Charger.
Yeah, the Charger, the 4-door. The 2-door has been out for a while. But this, we are only the second group of automotive journalists to get to drive it.
Wow. Does it make all the noises?
Oh my God, does it make all the noises? Yeah. Lewis, you might need to send me some of those noises videos.
Now or no?
Yeah, you can send them now.
Let the world see your
Yeah.
password.
Exactly.
It's called my face.
But it's a hatchback. So I guess here, let's go back to, look at that car. Yeah, can you put me up?
Let's do it.
What screen do you have? This one or that one?
I got this one.
That one? Okay, so I got to move this over there.
We're watching everything you're
There you
doing.
go. I get so sick of this because I don't know how to use my damn computer.
Yeah,
You're sick of me too?
no, this is, how did we start this show? It's been a long day.
Yeah.
It's been a
Do you
busy
want
week.
my photos of it?
Yeah, just text me the video.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I
Look at
texted
that
you
thing.
the video.
Look at that,
That is pretty cool.
right? It's giant.
That's an electric car.
It's an electric car.
It is massive.
It's got
It's a big boy.
nostrils or a wing on the front. Maybe let's call that a front wing.
Yeah.
Fwing.
A fwing.
It's got a fwing.
I like that.
And looks, quite cop car-y. I like it. My favorite part, though, is it's a hatchback.
Yeah.
Like, trunks are useless. You can't get anything in a trunk. Give me a hatch like that. And look what you can get in a hatch.
Oh my gosh.
You accidentally murdered your son.
Yeah, it comes-
You can put him in the back.
Comes with a child.
Or if he wakes up, you can just tell him he was taking a nap.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty solid right there.
Yeah. No, that's legitimate camping.
Rear heated seats with some ventilation and USB. That's me. That's
Oh,
my
man.
driving position and my knees.
Okay.
So they're touching the back of the seats, but
And you can put some harnesses through that seat.
oh yeah, that is very harnessable.
Yep.
Yep. I thought it was quite nice. Oh yeah, here we go. There's me. You don't want to see that.
your
Get him
typical-
out of there. Yeah.
typical,
Oh, but we don't have sound. Oh, we got to get sound over there. All right.
It's all right.
Well, we'll get you sound.
It's funny that you started with this one because this is one of 2 cars yesterday that I did not drive.
You didn't get to
wow.
drive it?
No, every time I got back, it was gone.
Oh no.
Wow.
I highly recommend it.
Okay, so yeah, explain
Good
how
car.
did the how did this driving day, how did it work? I mean, you're not out driving on roads and then pulling over every 5 miles.
It's a zoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Home base at a hotel.
Okay.
Take a car, drive it for 30 minutes, and then bring it back and just jump in something else and then keep going.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Yeah, they give you like a planned route and then,
they do give you a route.
Yep.
yeah,
Okay. That way they can keep an eye on you.
more or less, yeah.
Not
You can
exactly.
kind of deviate a little bit. Like there's scenic spots that you can pull off.
Can
and
I
get some
borrow the
photography.
iPad for a second here?
Yes, please do.
Thanks.
Take control.
Yep. Nobody wants to see me. God, why'd you leave that up?
Yeah. No, it's pretty interesting. So how many cars in total?
I'd say 12.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. That sounds, no one counted. It's about 12. And then were these all, these are different makes and models.
Yeah, so there was, I think, 7 actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be wrong on that still.
Yeah. That's quite a bit though. I mean, that's quite a bit.
It was a blur, just like today was for us. We got there 7:30, had a little breakfast, learned about some new Subaru products, and then it was okay.
Yeah, it just kind of flies by
And then
after that.
yeah, so from 8:30 until 11:30, it was just go drive a car, go drive a car, go drive a car. And part of this, because we're given the privilege to do this, the manufacturers would like us to do some kind of content.
Sure.
30 minutes to drive a 15 to 20 minute route and make a little content. That's like props to the people that are doing this as a real career, right? I'm a hack. I sell cars and just got to be invited along on this, hoping that, we can contribute something to the organization down the line. But man, that's hard work.
Yeah,
that's really hard work.
It was funny because I got in a car with Kurt from Eat, Sleep, Drive, and he does this as a career. And he was so much more efficient than Kelvin from Shift Colorado and myself. Where, I mean, we were getting in and kind of just messing around with the car. And then Kurt would get in and had basically a set list that he was going to run through on each car. He'd have his 3 things he was going to talk about. And it was really impressive to see him working like that in a quick setting.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. But yeah, like you say, if you do it for a career,
Yeah.
probably it gets repetitive. What's the saying? Like, get up and make the donuts. Right.
I'd like to do that.
But like what that puts in my head is when we were talking with Chubba Chetta is watching guys do reviews on a car and they pull over after 10 minutes and they start writing an article and he's like, you don't know anything about a car in 10 minutes, so it's hard, that would be really difficult to do. So, I mean, even a 30-minute span, like to his point is, okay, I mean, you can experience 30 minutes of a drive, but you don't know anything about that car really.
Yeah.
Exactly. The tough part was, do you want to get in it and drive it, or do you want to get in it and figure out what kind of features you want to talk about? And you have to give up one or the other.
Right. Yeah.
I chose driving them.
Yep, that's the route I went.
That's what I did.
I rode in them.
Yeah.
So now what are the requirements after you've driven the cars? This is part of an association, part of a.
Yeah, so I think the more we do and the more exposure the manufacturers get, the better chance that they will do more and we will be able to get more press cars here in Colorado for us all to drive.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's, we could all go and do it once and not post anything, and then the manufacturer would be like, well, these joyriders, that's dumb. That was a big waste of money.
Yeah.
The whole thing is really for exposure. So we're trying to get the manufacturer's names out there and give them as much exposure as possible. Which
And how do you? I mean, besides this podcast, that 8 people are listening to, like, how do you do that? How do you get the exposure?
That's why we're here. We're trying to figure that out.
our plan with it was to focus on social media reels, and then of course, being a magazine, we will publish an article in the next issue about this. We'll do something where we pick our 3 favorites, or like we did at the Denver Auto Show, where we did a fun, functional, and fancy segment, something along those lines. Maybe we'll change up the categories a little bit, but give each person that was there 3 slots to put something interesting in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. So publishing articles, and then Lewis is part of that as well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're thinking rear seat reviews might be something interesting.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Just talking about what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's king of the cup holders, there's queen of the armrests, and we got to come up with something for the back seat, for rear seat.
Yeah.
The backseat driver.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, backseat drivers. No, that's cool. I mean, there's some pretty sweet cars that have pretty amazing back seats, right? So you get autobiographies. Who knows? You get what is the Bentayga sometime? Something like that. I mean, obviously the McLaren might be a little difficult, but
The engine.
right? Yeah, but that would be a passenger seat. Passenger seat drives.
Lewis just mentioned the engine, and I think what was my biggest takeaway from the event is how great EVs are right now.
Yeah. I agree with you.
We drove the Charger Daytona. We drove the Jeep Wagoneer S.
That thing was an absolute riot.
I might buy one. I'm not kidding.
Brendan said that you were losing it in there. I mean, that thing has no business being as fast as it is.
No, it's a 600 horsepower Jeep. And think Grand Cherokee from the probably early 2000s in terms of size.
Yep.
It's a pretty spacious 5-seater. But if you were rolling anywhere under 30 miles an hour and you put your boot in it, you got whoop from the rear wheels. It got a little squirrely, and then it tucked and launched.
Okay.
It was righteously fast.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun to
Yeah, it
drive.
was really good. And then the surprise of the show for me was the is it Hyundai
Ioniq 9.
the Ioniq 9. It's a minivan, but it's got conventional doors, not minivan doors,
Okay.
and it ripped.
And it was smooth and comfortable and
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was I don't know why I loved it so much, but
the more I drive EVs, the more I'm coming around to them, because I've always been kind of a defector of EVs.
Yeah.
And not because I just wouldn't want to own one, but I'm starting to lean that way now just because I'm having so much fun with these press vehicles.
what I think we were driving in the Honda Passport,
Yeah.
and we were thinking this would be better with an EV drivetrain. And then we were driving in the Tiguan and thinking kind of the same thing. The car is great. The materials, the fit and finish are really nice, but it's a dog.
Yep.
All this other stuff, it's 500, 600, 700 horsepower.
Right.
And just immediate, and it's hilarious. So that was my surprise of the week. Anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think for me, the surprise car was that the Genesis GV70, was it?
That was the one car we
didn't
did
get
not
that.
drive.
We didn't get that one.
That thing was, it's a pretty competitive car with a Macan, and it's just a riot to drive. And there's all kinds of funny little touches. The seat belts are high-vis orange. It has all kinds of contrast stitching in it. It was a fun car to drive.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. The steering is super tight. The two cars that I liked the most yesterday were two compact crossover SUVs, which
Wow.
kind of wild for me.
It means you're getting old.
I guess so.
Our favorite, on the other hand, because we are men with testosterone, was the McLaren. We got to drive a McLaren Artura.
That's the second car I didn't drive.
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
That thing. So when I'm talking about our Porsche products, what I like to kind of talk about is that, to me, a sports car is a car where the louder it is, the more revs it's gaining, the faster it's accelerating, right? I don't want a torque peak and then a drop off. I want all of that to rise because I think that's the fun of it. The 7911S that I drove, that's what it did. It was boring down low, but then it hit 4 and it exploded and just kept pulling up to 7 or 7,500. That was a ton of fun. The McLaren does that, but to like a EV power level of acceleration, like third gear, red line. I don't know, Lewis. What do you think?
I mean, I agree with that. It was a good time.
It was a good time. Yeah,
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Mm-hmm.
I think. Thanks for not mentioning that it was in third gear at red line. Somebody can Google how fast that means.
Right.
But
Right.
man, that was cool. That was I haven't really appreciated previous McLarens we've had. They always felt a little like build quality wasn't quite there, or shift quality wasn't quite there, or whatever it was. This one felt pretty buttoned down. So
Nice.
yeah. You seem so fucking bored.
no.
Yeah.
It's funny because like I'm
Are you looking at how fat we look in these tiny chairs?
No, I'm just completely discombobulated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. And I'm anxious. I mean, because the reason that we're here is for the Shift magazine guys coming down. So thank you, Jake. And Brendan is in hiding back there.
He's too busy chatting with us.
I guess so. Yeah,
Right now.
and then to Chris that's out there watching, thanks for chiming in, buddy.
Yeah.
Actually, this mistress back here is an interesting individual. We have a lot of people ask if they can buy the shirt off of this man.
And a few that want the pants.
There's been a few that want the pants. Yeah.
Those are genuine Italian jeans.
They are Italian. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
From Italy.
I would hope. I mean, not
Like purchased in Italy, not just imported from.
Right. Yeah. No, it's that's kind of funny, but no, that mannequin has been in this corner for a while now. We've actually had to change her shirt a couple times, but
It gets faded.
yeah, I
Just
forget-
because there's so much UV that comes in.
Yeah,
But-
there was a blue shirt on her before. Yeah, when it got untucked, it was whoa! Look at what.
Yeah,
actual
that used to
blue
be
it
that
used to
color.
be.
Nice.
No, that's good. But yeah, no, I'm hoping that we get to see some of the Shift
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
And so, Jake, if you could just give us a little bit of a prelim. I mean, what are some of the things that you guys wanted to talk about with this issue?
So, a couple of things we did. Yoder Chevrolet up in Fort Lupton invited us out to have some fun with their inventory of C8 Corvettes.
Okay.
And that was pretty
fun.
wild. Basically, we went out there, and luckily, Kevin and I went out early to go try and find a good road to shoot some rolling photography on, and really to find the two corners that exist in Fort Lupton, Colorado. So we went out there and we got to shoot in their performance showroom, which is the old, I can't remember the name of the dealer it was before Yoder bought it, but it's, think Heartbeat of America era Chevrolet showroom, which makes a really good photography subject when you have three Corvettes in there, and we got to move them around, kind of use the scenery as our backdrop. And then from there, they let us take them out on the road, do some rolling photography, and then just kind of go have some fun with them. So we had 3 C8s, and Brendan had a C7 that he fell in love with.
Okay.
And we just got to rip around Fort Lupton on the two corners that they have and some of the really fun straight roads and open them up. And
Nice.
that was an absolute blast. A huge shout out to Yoder Chevrolet for inviting us out to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that sounds. Yeah, that's a super fun day.
Yeah, it's a car I've been interested in. I've always been a Corvette guy, and like, first mid-engine Corvette, everybody wants to check it out. Thank you.
Have no idea what that is, but just drink it. It's funny because like I'm watching up here on our screens that we can see it. Oh, I just cut off your face, but yeah, with the camera. So
How
you
dare
can tell,
you.
how this is why we need Lewis to produce our show because when I'm looking at you, I'm staring off screen. Right. So anyway, yeah, this is cool. No, that's so. How many of you got to do the Chevrolet C8 experience?
So we had 2 people per car, so 6, 7, 8 of us total.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a really good day for the photographers, and I ended up not even shooting that much. I'm partially a photographer, but when it comes to something like that, I really want to focus on writing the experience and getting everything down.
Right.
So I didn't get to shoot as much, but the photographers that we brought out that came with us really, really had a field day with it, which was cool.
Nice. No, that's very cool. Yeah. And okay, I forgot where that was going, but okay, there's an article. Hopefully, we'll get to see some of that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Then we had 2 press vehicles this time around. We had Brendan had a Ford Maverick Lobo.
Oh God, I want that thing.
I think we all fell in love with it.
Was it really good?
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Like the Maverick itself is a good car, and it's cheap, and it's utilitarian, and it works, and it's the perfect daily driver. But then you put a little like street performance flair to it, and it's perfect. Like that is the best daily driver you can buy right now, in my opinion.
So the Ford Maverick, what's the Lobo part of it?
The Lobo is like their street performance edition. So they put some like salad shooter wheels on it.
Okay.
And it really haven't done much, but enough to make it, look like a 90s street performance style truck. They got rid of all the cladded plastic, and it's all one solid color with a black roof now.
Okay.
And that car, I think it's based on the Focus platform.
Yes.
And the normal Mavericks have 8 speeds. The Lobo they put in, they took out one of the gears to save some weight and made it shiftable, so it's got paddles.
Wow.
And it's the transmission from the Focus ST, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And then it has Focus ST brakes as well. So it's kind of their like hot rod performance mini truck. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
And it rips. I didn't get to drive it. I rode around in it a whole bunch and got to shoot a lot of photography of it, and it looks fantastic. I think it's a great daily driver.
When I hear Ford Lobo, I think of the F-150 from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes.
They stole the name.
Really? That's fun.
Yep. And then the other press car we had was a
Gulf of America.
the other press car we had was a Toyota Tundra TRD Rally.
Oh, wow.
Which I gladly took because I'm kind of a pickup truck guy.
Sure.
And that thing was pretty cool. I mean, it's not much different than the standard Tacoma SR5, but it comes with some off-road goodies. You get a locking differential.
Nice.
Some cool like TRD heritage stickers on it. So it's got like the red, yellow, and orange TRD like 80s race livery on there. And yeah, it's a good truck. It's I had a lot of fun driving it around.
Have those picked up anywhere with the power output? I mean, like the, and I think it was, I was just, my son had a Tacoma TRD something. And anyway, and I had to drive it, a few times. And because of where I live, I'm driving up and over Monument Hill every day. Sorry, I keep flashing the camera there with my hand. But I mean, the thing, it was a nice truck. The one drawback for me is that it just had no power. It could not get out of its own way.
We just tried the new Forerunner. And it has a turbocharged 4-cylinder now.
Okay.
Much improved.
Yeah.
Yep.
Much
Okay.
improved.
And the Tundra had it's a twin turbo V6.
Okay.
And it makes like 380 horsepower. And
Nice.
it rips for a Tundra.
Okay.
They ditched the V8, which a lot of us were upset about.
Sure.
But I mean, I drive a V8 every day, and that thing could keep up with my truck easily.
Nice. So I guess that'd be kind of Ford, like EcoBoost.
Yep.
And I've driven EcoBoost before personally. I think this has more character and more punch than an EcoBoost does.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm a Ford truck guy. Yeah, that's what I grew up with. I think my dad, he had owned Fords, Chevys. I mean, a mix of things.
Yep.
But just kind of always landed at Ford in the end, and I still own one now, right?
Yep.
And I can definitely admit, kind of a drawback I think on the EcoBoost is they toted how much of the towing capacity and like how impressive it is to tow. Apparently, it's if you tow an empty aluminum flat trailer is when you don't know that you're hauling anything behind you.
Yeah.
If you put anything much more than that behind you, it sucks gas like crazy.
Yeah.
And you can feel, the struggle, start to happen.
Yep. Sadly, we didn't tow with the Tundra at all, but they rated at like a 12,000 pound towing rating, which is more than my 6.2 GMC, which is pretty impressive. I'm curious if you actually feel it back there and if it can actually pull it without sucking down a tank of gas in 5 minutes.
Right.
But
Well, sounds like something
truck talk.
Yeah, truck talk.
Bro, trucks.
Yeah. Oh, that's something fresh we got in. We just got in a 2020 F350 Super Duty.
really
With 15,000 miles on it.
interesting. Seems odd to see in a Porsche dealer.
Yeah, it's a King Ranch, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful
sounds
truck. Used for very light duty ranch stuff, right? The pickup was primarily used to run down to Durango and pick up a giant load of hay, one time a year, maybe
Yep.
twice a year, depending on what was going on. And then, just stuff around a real small, private ranch, moving a horse, kind of around the property or at least across the street, something like that. So,
Yeah.
super light duty stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, really, really nice truck. It's pretty cool. It's enormously huge.
Yes. The interior on those is really, really nice too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice. And I guess so growing up in Wyoming, long bed pickups are kind of, that's the thing,
Yep.
that's what everybody has. But here in Colorado, you don't see that very often. And so when you see a long bed,
Extended
crew
cab.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
Is this dual rear wheels too?
This is not. This is not the dually.
All right.
So it's just this crazy, you can't park it, in normal places, that kind of stuff. But I would have to imagine that this is an awesome cruising pickup, just
Good highway truck.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. We'll get that through. I mean, that's a car that we'll keep and we'll resell here.
Yep.
So pretty fun having a big truck like that.
Maybe we can tow some Pikes Peak cars,
They might need
right?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still going on. That's what's happening behind us out here. There were some guys walking around behind us. Oh, you can see Brendan actually there for just a second.
Yeah. What's he doing? I don't know why he's hiding in the
Yeah,
background.
me neither.
There's a room on the couch. Mm-hmm. There's a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Act like you know each other.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Hello.
Oh. All right, Brendan's here.
Jeez. That was planned.
This was intentional.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Brendan, how's your day been?
It's been good. How's yours?
He said it's been good. How was yours? For those of you that aren't in the room, and
Sorry, I forgot
no,
about
it's okay. The microphone's good. Are you still on yesterday, or did you get a break and get to start today?
I did start today.
All right, that's good.
Not much of today, but I did start today.
Yeah, good job. So what's new in the world since I saw you yesterday?
Right.
Oh, not
You
much.
had, I think yesterday you had 100 pages you wanted to get edited.
Wow.
I think we're at like 130 odd.
Okay.
That's good.
We're quite close.
Yeah.
Did drop you a link to it.
Oh, nice. Where'd you put it?
Your
Put it.
email for your text messages. I don't know how Apples work.
I don't know. It's all right. Let's find out.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a marathon yesterday.
I bet.
Lauren says cops everywhere.
Cops everywhere.
Be safe.
Nice.
So
That reminds me, down here in the Springs, right around the corner from us, next week they're starting this crazy construction project where they're taking more or less a pretty wide road and turning it into 2 lanes each way while they tear out a bridge and expand the road. So it's going to be kind of a mess. What direction is that? That's on the north end? It's on the 8th Street. It's on our 8th Street entrance, I think, is what's going to be really, really tight. So for people starting next week that are coming to visit the dealership, coming and going, highly recommend, I believe it's take the Nevada Tejon exit. So coming in from the other side of Motor City from where we are, the complete opposite side. We'll just be little easier, less hectic, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of like a, what do you call it? PSA.
A PSA.
Yeah.
Public service announcement.
Yeah. That starts next week. Yeah. So we'll see. Goes all the way into early 2026, the construction.
Oh,
does.
wow.
It's a big one. It's a big project. In other news,
I'm trying to load it. It might be working.
we do have some people
There we go.
watching and commenting because we don't have it up here tonight. There's a good question. So Stephen H on here that he watches every week. Thank you again, Stephen H. And he's got some great questions. He's got we can make this super quick and we'll get to the magazine. But he asked, what was your first experience that ignited your passion for Porsche? And how has your passion/taste evolved over time? He gives, for an example, his was in 1982. Walking home from school, the local dealer had a new red 944 out for a test drive. It stopped me dead in my tracks. I could not take my eyes off it. That's pretty cool, right? Stephen H, we got a
944.
Yeah, we got a 944 for you coming in, buddy. You'll see it when it gets here. Do either of you have passion for Porsche?
I mean,
Brendan's got
I
some.
bought one.
That's pretty good.
Say I bought. I'm at least bought in.
Okay, yeah,
Call
no,
it
that's
that.
awesome. Can you remember, for Steve, what's your very first experience that just hooked you?
Oh, this is like when the waiter gets to you when you're trying to order. Can I order last?
It's when in 2002 he was up on Pikes Peak and he saw Jeff Zwart driving a GT2 on the dirt, a 996 GT2, spitting dirt. It's how he lost vision in his left eye.
It is.
He remembers that sound and thinks, God, that's got to be the greatest car ever built.
You don't have
he
vision in your left eye?
No, he told me that story, I don't know, like 6 days ago.
I don't.
Or it could have been when I was with Chubba Chetta when he reviewed the first 959.
Oh, yeah.
That was also a good time.
I bet that was.
I was 3 at the time. But
All right.
I would say I'm coming around to Porsches. The first Porsche I've ever driven is actually Brendan's.
Okay.
what'd you think?
I loved it. I had a blast driving you home because I had to play designated driver, but it was a good time.
Okay.
That's good. That's noble.
Yeah.
Back seat, not big enough for me in 911, turns out.
I've tried that a couple times, and I would agree with you.
We have fun around here.
Lewis, do you remember what it was that hooked you with Porsche?
I mean, the first time visiting the dealership for sure.
This dealership.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
It wasn't a lie.
No.
The story I tell
Yeah.
was real.
Yeah. John, do you remember?
I remember the Minneapolis Auto Show in probably 96, 97. Porsche had a 993 Turbo on display in arena red, kind of the poster color. And that got me.
Cool.
So, yeah. Yeah. I think I got a magazine.
Excellent.
Do you want to read some?
Yes.
Can you see my screen? Do I have the right screen shared for you?
Yeah. Hang on here. Let's do this the right way.
The right way.
We're going to call it at least 90%.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
There we go. We're looking at it.
We're
Look at
looking
that.
at it. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's like it's posted. It's almost.
It does. It looks better on my screen than it does up there. It looks a little squanched.
It might be a little squanched.
On the
like I can
TV.
see what we're doing.
Yeah.
I feel like I know most of this stuff. Like I maybe worked on it 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a big issue for us. We did a lot of things. Jake kindly already talked about my press truck, so thanks for that, Jake.
I wasn't sure when you were coming in, and I wanted to talk about it because I liked it.
I wasn't sure either. You should talk about your own truck. You wanted that Tundra so hard.
It turns out anytime I drive a new car, I want it because everything I own is old and falling apart.
That is true. But yeah, we just did. It feels like we did stuff until the bitter end this time around. Maybe that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about RMDE yesterday. Had a fun time both participating in and coordinating RMDE, which was a good time and cleaning up after it. And, but yeah, I think, got home, got to writing around 6 last night, which was good, or editing, whatever I do here. I don't know, Jake, what's another one you want to talk about?
Another one that I want to talk about.
Let's make Lewis talk.
Yeah, let's make
He's
Lewis
here.
talk.
Look at this. So here's the
Lewis
second. Here's the
isn't,
next page, and then if we get to the next set of pages,
Yeah, we can go to the table of content that
Yep.
doesn't actually mean anything
it's
to
a
this
good.
issue.
It's a good guide. I am really excited to learn about the Lobo.
I like the headshots. Good headshots.
I wish I would have been available for the Lobo drive. That thing's on my short list.
Now that you are a member of the Rocky Mountain Automotive Press, you could request it.
Really?
Uh-huh.
How do I do that?
You know David from yesterday?
No.
Okay.
Is he the guy that I said, I'm sorry, I just stole the key to the Acura, and he said, it's okay, we've been using the second one?
Wait, I'm a member.
Yeah.
He's a member.
Yeah.
You can also get a Lobo.
You could also get a Lobo.
We
I
need to
can't,
try this.
but I'm a member.
I agree.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we request.
We'll
we
talk after
officially
class.
request the Lobo.
Yes.
Official. You request the Lobo.
Yes.
Officially.
Yeah, we want to try
I
this
think
out.
that's how it works. Everybody listens, so they should know.
The good part about the table of contents is most of it is to last issue, so that's
So it needs to be updated, is what you're saying?
Correct, yeah.
So here.
I wait till the end for that.
I feel like you guys are probably pretty stressed out about, wanting to get the magazine out and get everything done. And you're probably like, well, I guess this is the wrong table of contents, but whatever. So here's what I did today.
What did you do today?
I pushed. So when we have two different computer systems, and we work in one, and it's for amateurs. And then we push the deal over into the other system, and that's where the professionals actually do all the stuff that's important. And what I did is when I pushed my deal from our system to the other system, I assigned somehow every single car that the dealership owns to the client.
So you sold every car at the dealership
I
today.
sold, technically, I don't know if I
Every
sold
car
them.
in inventory.
I might have just given.
Oh, well, that's good.
I was going to say you broke a sales record, but not really.
This,
Is it a test drive loan? Is it a 24-hour test drive
I don't
loan?
think I don't think so. It's the third time I've done it.
The second time that
The first time was I still don't know how it happened the first time. We figured out how it happened the second time. And when it happened the second time, we realized I probably shouldn't do that again. And it was mentioned, John, don't do that again. So what I did was I did it again.
John, don't do that again.
yeah.
So
So you're pushing the boundaries, is what I hear.
I'm not trying to, but it happened.
if you've had your car serviced here, Brendan, you get a text message, right? When your car comes in for service, you get
do.
updates and that kind of stuff. You get a video.
Very communicative. It's
communicative,
Very
right?
good.
Yeah.
So when roughly 1,000 cars get put into your name, your phone explodes for about 30 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's how we found out John did it the second time.
Yep. We
Was
haven't.
that the customer called saying,
What the
my
hell?
phone, like, I thought my phone broke. Like, it just kept going.
Yeah, it seems like 8 of my GT3 RSs are due for an oil change.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he couldn't. He had no control of his phone for a legit like 3.5 minutes. It just kept zig 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 zig. Like it just kept.
So anyway, sorry, BG. it's
Great
coming.
news. My fleet of base Cayennes is eligible for lease return.
It's coming tomorrow. But anyway, so
hopefully his phone doesn't explode
Yeah.
at 1 in the
all
morning.
right. So anyway, there's last month's,
That's last
Thing.
quarter's table of contents.
and then look at
yeah.
this.
But wait, that's what I was going to ask. Who wrote this article?
Yeah.
Why the quail is worth it. Look at that.
I
I didn't write this one.
no idea who wrote this one.
Well, I don't think it was Chat GPT, and it wasn't me.
It's another trip to Monterey Car Week with
Yeah.
Louis Deisty, not by Louis Deisty.
Yeah.
It's with Louis Deisty.
Todd?
Louis Deisty is your host to Monterey Car Week.
Hopefully someday. But we took a lot more time writing this one. I think
I can tell.
The first, can you?
Yeah, I had to do a lot less editing this time.
Well, good.
Or
Yeah.
Louis had to do a lot less editing this time.
I think what I loved about it was the first time we went, Lewis told the story, and told the story enough where the story was already written and it just had to be written down. And with this one, he wrote a story and it felt just kind of like the last one. And so what I said is, Lewis, let's try to come up with something that's a little more conceptual, right? And it's not just writing down the story that we did. And we went through a bunch of rewrites and figuring out, is that important? Does anybody really care? And I'm excited to read it in its published and photographed form.
I thought it was good. I like that you guys threw me and Danny P a bone on the Audi there.
Oh yeah, look, we did that.
You did
What?
that.
Look at that. That's an Audi.
There was that great dog. Look at that dog.
You know how I took that picture? That one's mine.
That's yours.
iPhone upside down, walking away from it. Click.
Oh, you did the backhand.
That was a backhand photo shot,
Backhand.
and the dog was just there for it.
I mean, he seems into it.
Yeah.
They seem into it.
Yeah.
Can I take a photo of your dog? I don't know. Immediate photo taken.
Yeah, it also surprises me, or doesn't surprise me, I guess, but it impresses me how much I need to do research to keep up with Lewis's knowledge of supercars. Because
Yeah, right.
Lewis will bang off, some kind of new supercar that I don't know, no idea what it is, and I need to try and pick it out of your photos. Like, well, what am I looking for here?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Lewis knows. I noticed you guys got a lot less selfie stuff this time. It's a lot more car pictures.
Is that good or bad? What should we plan for next year?
It's good. I need a mix of both.
Yeah.
Like I've got that picture of Lewis's fried chicken and very nice asparagus that he liked.
Yeah.
The incredibly airy bread that paired well with his Coke.
It was the
Creamy pastry.
Creamy pastry, excuse me. How was the bread though?
It was good bread.
Good bread.
Yeah. Crunchy.
that's part of the impressive part of the Quail, though, I think, is that, you've got these just next level cars being unveiled and access to the crazy people there, but they're catering for, look at the crowd of people around the Lambo.
No, it's a
right?
solid crowd.
Yeah. And anything you want to go eat, it's always fresh. They always have it. And it's just like they're bringing out fresh food before the other food has even been set down. It's really cool.
I mean,
it's good.
Lewis did kind of make the point for $2,000 a ticket. You'd kind of hope they wouldn't run out of food.
It's a good point. Yeah. But places do.
They do.
And that's what's impressive to me, is that they actually execute on that, and you feel like your money is going to something worthwhile.
It does feel like you're getting some value back for your money.
Yep.
Now I think the next thing we got to do with Lewis is we got to arm him with a camera. We got to send him with a camera to the next round.
Yep.
Add a layer of conceptual difficulty here. Phone's easy mode and phone's good.
Yep.
But next level time.
All shot on iPhone.
This gives Jake Chubb.
There we go. There's Jake's truck.
There we go.
Should I talk about your truck?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the only story that I have about this that I really enjoy is you'll see in that top picture there, the truck has a splitter.
Yes.
You'll see in the picture below it, the truck does not have a splitter.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
boy.
Interesting.
That's just a button, right? On the dash, you just push a button and it retracts.
We didn't know that.
It doesn't retract via button. It just does it on its own.
It just does it on its own.
Nice.
But we were not aware that was a retracting splitter. So
During photo editing, I had a little panic attack. I thought that we broke the
Yeah,
truck.
you didn't.
Oh, it actually
That's-
does retract.
That's,
Yeah.
I thought you broke it also,
Me
and I
too.
was just trying to help
Right, me
help
too.
gloss over that
Right,
one.
that's what I was
Yeah.
assuming.
well, we were getting together in the shift boardroom, which is Jake's backyard, and we were actually reviewing the photos the night after we shot these. And we were noticing, like, hey, this has a splitter in half of them, doesn't anymore. And we went and looked at the front of the truck, and it didn't have a splitter. And like,
Wow.
well, if we drove over that, we would have heard it. And we were losing our minds trying to figure out where the splitter fell off or how the splitter fell off.
Mind you, we could have just walked out
We could
to
have
the
just
truck
walked out. Well,
and
we
looked at
did.
it.
We just didn't get under it to look at it to see that it could.
Right. That pickup
We
has
didn't go under it.
it has a good stance, right? Like, so that's something that was pointed out to me when Tundras first came out, is that the Americans were better at giving a pickup stance, and the Tundras just didn't look right. Like, they looked heavy, top heavy and bulbous. this pickup's got a great looking stance like that. And maybe that's why they do that retractable splitter piece, because on a static display in that lower picture, that's an impressive, strong looking truck.
It is, and it's nice when you look at it standing like that. Like, it almost looks like it's leveled compared to like a normal truck that's
Right.
going to have a rake to compensate for load in the bed. But no, this thing sits almost completely level, and they even have some of the higher trims, like the Platinum, has a self-leveling rear suspension.
Okay.
So if you throw 500 pounds in there, we'll compensate
Yep.
for it via air shocks.
No, that's cool. That's a great looking pickup. And then to your point, you mentioned earlier that that's from like the TRD Rally
Yes.
stuff. The kind of the flag that they've got.
It's pretty awesome. I just think they overdo it because they are everywhere.
It is on every part of that
It's
truck.
like an M3 badge, on, like circa.
On a non-M car.
Sure, absolutely.
M badges on non-M
Someone bought
cars.
all the M badges in Pep Boys.
So you can't really see it in this picture, but there's that picture of the seat back there. And so if you're standing in a side cast, it just looks like a black seat back.
Okay.
And then if you get right on top of it, it actually has the flag colors on there
colors.
as well.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
like
see
hidden in
that.
the perforations, which is kind of cool.
That's pretty trick. That's really cool. No, that's nice. That's pretty sweet. What was this truck priced at? The one that as you tested it?
As tested, I think it was 62 and change.
That doesn't sound
Which
that
compares with like the F-150 Tremor. It's really a good competitor for that truck, in my opinion.
nice. Excellent.
But yeah, it was fun. It's more fun to drive than the average half-ton pickup, just because, I mean, you put your foot down, you hear those turbos whistle. And,
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
and then we have more trucks.
More
Truck, yeah.
trucks. This was our truck issue.
Truck, yeah.
I've been pushing for this one.
That's awesome.
These were our friends at Yoder Chevrolet. They were putting on kind of their first show of the year, which is a truck show up in Greeley. So we went and visited and said hello and shook some hands and looked at some trucks, which were awesome. There's
Wow, look at that bumper.
Oh, is it engraved?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
there were a lot of good lowriders there.
You can see that one on the left is actually a C20 van.
Right.
And that thing was really good. That was probably my favorite thing there, honestly.
That was just the weirdest paint color ever, though. Like, it was Caucasian metallic.
Are those curb feelers?
They are
yeah.
curb feelers.
Yeah, that's funny.
I
Yeah,
feel for the curb.
There was a lowrider club there that kind of took over like one row of the show, and they had, I mean, some of the cars that they brought out were just fantastic. I love looking at lowriders just because the amount of detail that goes into
The
it.
artistry is amazing.
Yeah,
It's really
Yep.
cool.
it is a rolling art installation. It's not just a car.
This is our photographer of the issue, David Talbot. He joined us for Pikes Peak last year and got some really cool shots on Pikes Peak. And
Nice.
stayed in touch and decided we would show off some more of kind of his work and some of his work and things that aren't Pikes Peak as well. Who's ready for Pikes Peak here?
Is it over yet?
Yeah.
That's about where I'm at.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the picture with the glowing brakes right there. There was a track day for fun. It was a private track day for fun a couple of weeks ago. And anyway, one of the one of the people they were running around a Cayenne for fun, and they come blazing into the pits. Brakes are on fire! Brakes are on fire! And like legit flames coming out of the wheels. Right? What do I do? Go driving around, right?
Just go for a
Yeah.
cruise.
Yeah. But no, it turns out, the Cayenne brakes will catch on fire if you get them hot enough. So, that's an impressive shot. That's really cool.
Speaking of, there's a 2024 Cayenne that just came in available. White with a black and tan interior.
Black wheels?
Now, front wheels are quite sooty. The rears are a little less so. That's not true. That car was not a trade-in.
No.
Look at this. Track day.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Emic track day
Emic Track Day.
throwing up a GT3.
Yeah, that's our buddy Kurt from Eat Sleep Drive. So we just got that GT3 a little while ago. And Emic was pretty pleased with some of the work that we did with the ID Buzz last issue, and they were kind enough to give us a bundle of passes for the Emic Track Day.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So we got a few cars together and went out. It was a good hurrah for kind of my 911 too. But yeah, I mean, kind of hard to beat the value on the Emic Track Day.
Totally. They're a good group. I know a couple of the Emic guys, and they're a good group. They've actually, for me, I mean, for what I do with them, they're easy to work with, and but there's a couple guys involved with Emic, because I think Emic is like Fred Emic the fourth. I mean, like it's down the chain now, right?
Yeah.
But there's a guy, I'm pretty sure he's still involved with some of the ownership, but Bob Colbert, and he's just this. He I don't know if he works there every day. I know he did, for a while. I think at the Chevy store, but just a total stand-up guy in the car business. It's been around forever, man. And as much as I hate to say it, it's hard to find that.
Yep.
It can be really tricky to find just a super straight shooter, that's been around for a long time. And so when you find those people, you latch onto them. You're just like, oh yeah, I need this guy, in my Rolodex, right? This is going to be one of my good friends, kind of going forward. Because, yeah, it's being in the car business. It can be tough, right? But no, the Emic guys, I enjoy working with them. That's a good group. So I'm glad they do a track day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great time. I got to play Lewis. I was kind of the backseat driver or passenger seat driver for that one, and giving everybody little high planes tips and tricks to get around the corners a little faster.
Very cool. Very cool.
This is the only Colorado car we managed to get out there and finish this time around. This is Tyler Smith, who has a 2015 911 GT3 that he drives the bejesus out of.
Good. Good.
We have a cool reel up on our Instagram that we filmed with him, and there's not a lot of time that. Yep.
Wow.
There's not a ton of time.
I can see the clear mask.
Yeah, it's got a clear mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome car. That was a fun one to film too.
Good generation of a GT3. Those were cool. Those were some kind of stupid weird history for people watching or listening. 2014. It was supposed to be 2014s and 15s. Was that generation of GT3? The 2014s were all recalled for their engines.
I was gonna say, isn't that the motor that?
That's the 2014. So the 2014 model year, every single one of them was recalled for their engines, whether or not the customer already took delivery of it or not. So there's actually there were customers that had taken delivery of the car. If they chose that they didn't want to wait for the engine replacement to happen, you could do like a buyback. Porsche would buy it back.
Right.
And that was kind of hit or miss. I mean, because that actually kind of screwed some of us later down the road, because you cannot certify a buyback car. It's just part of CPO policies. But anyway, so every 14 was recalled. And then, but that screwed up kind of production numbers with what they were going to do. So 2015 was supposed to be like kind of the last year of that generation. But because the production numbers got kind of messed up, through that recall process, is they decided to build some in 2016. So there's some 16 model years out there. They're just much more difficult to find. But a super attractive, beautiful car. Every single one's PDK. The manual was not an option.
Really?
At that point, which that was kind of a, people were upset by that. Like, oh, that's a letdown. So that's why when the 2018s came back out, having the manual option, people are like, oh, manuals and buckets, like that's what I want. And then 8 months later, it was PDK in 18 ways. That's what I want. But anyway, that's 14, 15, and 16. That is a fantastic generation GT3.
I think you can actually get them for kind of a song and a dance too.
It's a good. They are. They're great value. Yeah. Very, very good value.
Dubs on the Green was pretty good. We had a staff member go visit that. That's a kind of recurring VW show that.
It's almost that bus.
It is almost that bus.
Yeah. Or nice backdrop.
Yeah.
But you got skylight windows though, so
yeah.
This is our annual tradition of attending the Colorado Auto Show, which, being in the industry, I'm sure you guys have gone a time or two. But the Colorado Auto Show, formerly the Denver Auto Show, is put on by the Colorado Automotive Dealers Association, CADA. It's just a good time to get together and go look at some cars and maybe have some morning beers because it might have been someone's birthday.
Yeah, I didn't know they served beer there, but it was my 31st birthday, so
Nice.
we decided to make a day out of it. Which
Okay.
was a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fun. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
You know, they serve morning beers at Lucille's. You ever been to a Lucille's?
No.
Where can we find a Lucille's?
The only one I go to is in Littleton.
Oh, is it the breakfast place? Lucille's Kitchen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Creole.
Yeah.
It's Cajun.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know there's one on like University up in Denver, right where
Yeah.
I used to live.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Never went though.
Yep.
But
No,
now that I know they have morning beers, I might have to change that.
it's called breakfast beer, but
Breakfast
yes,
beer.
absolutely.
But yeah, we just wandered around the auto show. We did kind of our usual fun, functional, fancy thing, and just picked some cars that we liked for various things. And then got disappointed when one of our memory cards failed and we didn't have pictures of half of them. So we made do with what we had. This is one of the things that makes it take a little while to lay the magazine out, is dealing with stuff like that. Slush happened again.
Was that just like 2 weeks
It
ago?
was just like,
Very recent.
yeah, I think it was the 24th, 25th
Yeah.
of May.
I didn't realize they do motorcycle events at Slush.
I didn't either. I was a little surprised when one of our photographers wrote or texted me and said, "Hey, how do I shoot bikes?" Like, why are there bikes?
Right.
I don't know. I heard the night drifting was really cool again this year. Night drifting sounds awesome. Sounds super dangerous too.
Our power sports guys had a booth that was set up at Slush this
I think I saw that. Yeah. And then PPIR is getting ready for Ascend as well. That's kind of the big June event that they're putting up. We're excited that we're actually going to be trying to be you guys out there.
Oh boy.
We're putting up a pop-up dealership to sell all of our old project cars. So
Nice. Okay.
decided the rule is we need to dress as the appropriate salesperson from the appropriate franchise of the appropriate time.
Really?
That I love.
Should we do the first dibs where we kind of go over some of our hot inventory items?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it.
Let's take care of business.
How much plaid will you be wearing?
So I am a Mercedes dealer circa 1990. What do I look like?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ooh, 1990.
I think that's a suit.
Well, you have
Got to
some-
be a suit,
You'll
right?
have some cocaine in your mustache.
Okay.
And I want to say you might have a mock turtleneck
Oh,
underneath.
yeah.
Like
A
underneath
suit
the
coat.
suit?
You got a
underneath the
dicky.
suit coat.
Yeah.
I can't wait to wear all these layers in June.
I was gonna say,
Like
this sounds
June.
uncomfortably hot.
Yes,
Exactly.
because the suit coat is wool.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Or leather.
This gets better.
It could be leather. You could have. It's probably a leather suit coat because Mercedes in the '90s. You probably should bring a briefcase,
Probably.
right? An attaché.
Well, I mean, luckily I have a second option, but I don't think it really gets that much better. I could also dress as an Audi dealer circa 1990 as well.
I think it's the same thing, but you bought all of that guy's clothes off of him,
Okay.
Right.
right?
Secondhand.
That's you're the secondhand Mercedes dealer.
I was going to say you were wearing the noose around after the "Don't Let It Leave Home Without
Oh,
You" thing on 60 Minutes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Get dark.
Yep.
Jake is a what are you? You're a late 80s
Late
Toyota
80s
salesman,
late 80s Volvo salesman
Volvo salesman,
or an
excuse me.
early 90s Toyota salesman.
Okay. Wow. I can't picture a Volvo salesman.
Me either.
Yeah.
I think just the turtleneck and nothing else.
people in the comments, give me some suggestions
Yeah.
here because I really don't know.
Yeah. Lots of like I don't have any hair, but if you have hair, it would be very gelled. I think I could see it being very slick.
Should I get a wig?
Sure.
Mercedes is the brand that always does the hard plastic name tags, right? I gotta get myself a hard plastic name tag made.
That. Mm-hmm. German
For-
companies in general. Yeah.
Mercedes Benz of PPIR.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Toyota salesperson. I just picture and it's kind of a white shirt and pants of some kind. But
Good to wear pants.
yeah,
Recommended.
So I've heard to get a finance department, the finance department has to sit on a floor above the salespeople. We have to go and talk up to them.
Yep, that's definitely true.
right.
Yep.
The tower. You
The
gotta go to
tower.
the tower.
Got to have a tower. Gonna learn how to fill out a Foursquare.
Oh, cool. Wow. Yeah.
Come teach me.
Okay.
That might
Right.
come in handy.
I think you just write some squiggles on it, throw it back with the pen, and do
Right.
X and sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How much do you want to put down? Where do you want your payment to be? Well, then you got to put this
Okay.
much
Well,
down.
then X. We don't not. Then this is what it is. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
We
good.
listen. We listen to you.
That'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
So what's actually being sold?
So I have. Let's do business. First dibs here. 1991 Mercedes 400e sedan V8
Wow.
in taupe.
Oh,
Was
Taupe over beige MB-Tex.
was it a taxi?
It was not a taxi.
Oh man.
It's allegedly at one point it had 330 horsepower, and I got to drive it for the first time the other day. There aren't any more.
330 horsepower?
wow.
It's a V8.
No way.
It's a big V8 rear-wheel drive
There's
sedan.
no way.
in 91.
In 91,
Wow.
which means it should be as fast as the Skyline.
So how many horses does it have today, do you think?
Not as many as 330, but
330. That just feels absurd.
That's a
'Cause
pretty
the-
good number.
the
It's a good number.
It's
2000
Mercedes. It's German.
The 2001 E55 was rated at like 349.
okay.
It's not a lot of headway.
Yeah, by 2001, they were more into efficiency.
yeah, I think they might have had more torque in 2001 too. This
Okay.
doesn't have a whole lot of. Anyway,
So everybody went through a really hard time in the 70s.
Yeah.
Right? You know, all the big blocks were putting out 90 horsepower, you know, stupid stuff like that. And then they got smart, you know, and figured out how to get around emissions by making power again. But then the name of the game started really coming around efficiency, you know, was a big deal. So I could see that taking a little bit of power away. But
I'm also pleased to present a 1991 Audi 220 valve turbo sedan,
wow.
also in taupe over beige.
That's good.
It was a popular choice in the 90s, apparently.
Does that have seats?
It has seats, and
Okay.
someone will definitely buy that as a motor swap. That is what that car is destined to be.
Will it come with the bees?
No, the Bees was my 90 motor swap car.
Oh,
wow. Funny story about the 400 and the 90, though. We did try to do a burnout competition, and my mechanic at all Audi's parking lot, his tires let go before mine did.
So who
All
won?
right.
I think Randy won.
I think Randy won. Yeah, he killed the tire.
All right, there you go. I just didn't know how burnout contests work. Is who can do it the longest or who ruins it the most?
I don't know. I was able to drive my Mercedes back into his yard, and then we had to go get a truck and tow now his 90 back to his yard.
That's pretty fun.
But yeah, no, that'll be a fun time.
Nice. And what are you selling?
It's a mostly LS powered 89 Volvo 740 wagon.
Mostly LS powered.
Yeah, it's powered by what you tow it with.
Okay.
Could be LS.
And it's really not a full Volvo either. It's 3/4 of a
I would
Volvo.
say 2/3. You get the firewall back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the firewall forward is just a hand welded tow hitch that somebody halfway turned into a camper, and then I thought would be funny to buy. And
They didn't really do any of the turning into a camper part. They just stripped the interior. So it's like a car full of knives you can go spend time inside of.
Oh boy. Wow.
Yeah, somebody used it as they towed it around with their gambler car, and they were using it as like their pit stop sleeper for gambler events.
Wow.
And then put it on Facebook Marketplace for $500, and he took it for $200 in a case of beer from me.
Weren't there nuggets involved too?
No, it was case of beer, and he said that was finally the first good offer that he got. And then I asked him what kind of beer, and he said Twisted Tea, and I thought about not buying it at all.
Yeah.
Twisted.
Keep it twisted.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool.
We're also going to see if we can get that entered into Morgan Adams after that definitely doesn't sell.
Maybe.
It's currently sitting on a friend's property, and he told me that if I take it to PPIR, I'm not allowed to bring it back. So
Right.
we have to figure out if it's going to PPIR or Morgan Adams.
Okay, got it. PPIR.
Yeah. I want somebody to buy it, and if not, I'm going to gift it to PPIR.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
We shot Marty's V12 Century. Marty went out and got a V12 Century, and that's
Wow.
it's a hilarious problem to have in your life.
It's pretty
Wow.
cool.
Where do you find a car like that?
So he found one in, I think, Arlington, Virginia, that someone had 3 specimens of.
Wow.
And he was getting rid of this one. I don't know. That was a fun morning shoot. I was the only photographer on that, so I had to figure out all kind of the beauty shots in Marty's front yard. And we also sat down and watched Courage the Cowardly Dog on VHS on the CRT TV,
That's
In the back
pretty
seat.
amazing.
That is awesome.
which was pretty epic.
So is the pass-through for your long-legged friends.
That's pretty wild. That's
you
pretty
could
insane.
make good use of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Wow. Did he drive it back?
He did. He flew and just drove it with no. He didn't have anyone with him. He didn't have a support system. I'm not being mean when I say Marty's not like terribly mechanically inclined, am I? Well, he did a motor swap.
He did a motor swap, but I think this, like, he did a Miata 1.6, and that V12 is kind of a completely different animal.
Yeah, that's more.
Yeah. That is wild. And how often does he drive this car?
He doesn't, because it doesn't have license plates.
Oh, got it.
It's not passing emissions currently, so he's trying to get the emissions fixed.
Exemption? You can do an emissions exemption. I think if you prove that you've spent more than $700, you can apply for an exemption.
Or just, I think license plates have been optional in Colorado since COVID.
No comment there.
Just about. Yeah, just about.
Hey, the next one's familiar.
Oh, there you go.
It's John Voight's car.
Hey. Right. Yeah. Recognize those stickers, John?
Yeah. Of course I do. I know where that came from.
Yeah, that was a great car.
That was a really fun car. We took that out and had a really nice kind of urban photo shoot with that. Looked really good. Got to do kind of a short review on that. We didn't do kind of our full length review, but just I think that was the first time in the spring where we really got out and just kind of hammered on photos, which was a lot of fun.
So this brings up a good question, though, since I'm here with the Porsche experts. Why do they call it a coupe? It's got 4 doors.
Yeah. Why do they
Because the
call
roof
it?
does this.
Why do they call it a turbo? It doesn't have turbos.
It's electric.
This one has turbos. Why isn't this one a turbo?
It's a coupe.
It's
coupe.
It's because.
Actually, John
It's because.
John owned a coupe.
Yeah, I loved it. Still my favorite Cayenne we've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, that the coupes they're cool and they come standard with all the sport goodies.
Yeah.
Right. But obviously the roof line, the changes the shape of the C pillars.
What other name would we call it?
Besides
Sport brake?
Sportback.
Yeah, sport brake.
Back.
Yeah.
Fastback.
What is a Sportback?
2-door version of a 4-door version of a 2-door car.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. One thing I really liked in person was Bordeaux. Bordeaux in person, like you see it on the internet and like that's a lot of red.
Yeah.
That feels like it could be overwhelming. You see it in person, like that's just nice.
That's the interior leather color.
Correct.
Right,
Yes.
right. And something when it comes to those colors like that Bordeaux red, or even if it's just a bright color in general, when people do see it in pictures, or even just walking up to the car and looking inside, if it seems like it's a lot, the big thing is you got to get in it, right? And then you got to when you're sitting in it and you realize that everything that's eye level, or above is dark in color. You're sitting on the red, that's all below your eye level. So it's at that point, it becomes the accent piece inside, much less is
Right.
exposed when you're actually driving the car. But it's not Boxster red, like it used to be back in the day. That was pretty bright. No, Bordeaux red's done really, really well. And I think this specific Cayenne, Arctic Gray, was that the?
Arctic Gray. Yeah.
Just a great combination. Just a really good color combo.
And just pretty good value too for being a vehicle that someone only owned for a year, right? I think that's what I was kind of struck by is, what a decent deal it was to get one, a year off being used. And yeah, we were making some content to go on Instagram for this as well to help bring awareness to this vehicle's existence at your dealership, and then you sold it without our help. So
Right.
Oops.
oops.
Yep.
Let's see what Steve Clark says. He would call it a hunchback.
That's a good one. Yeah. Quasi.
Right. Quasi.
Who are these guys?
These guys are another podcast.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
like you.
I know.
They're like
Yeah.
you.
So they recently
They have a bigger
celebrated.
couch than we do.
That's DRS. It's not their couch.
Ah, all right. They don't have a couch. Good.
But they celebrated their 500th recently and invited us out to their
God.
live recording.
Is that why they have gray hair? Is that what we're headed?
I mean,
Is that
I
what
hope
we're-
I have.
I mean,
that
they
much
look
hair at
great.
500
Yeah,
kilos,
but-
they make just for men. You'll be all right.
That's true.
for men?
I should do that. I should go unnaturally dark.
naturally dark, right?
Yeah.
I've done
You should do that.
I've done the
for
spray the spray dye before.
You should do that for your Mercedes
I should
salesperson.
just go jet
You
black
should-
hair.
yes, just pitch black hair.
It is off-putting. I've done it before.
And you also need to shave. You're gonna have to shave your whole face.
I'm not doing that.
No, you gotta have
They would never allow you to sell Mercedes in 1990.
Chicago 5 o'clock shadow is very
Chicago 5 o'clock shadow.
Okay, well,
I would be
like
more
I'm
likely to
currently
buy a
wearing.
Mercedes from you with black hair
yeah.
Okay.
and no facial hair.
So we're getting into some demography here. No, these folks at Apex Adjacent, they're good. I enjoy them quite a bit. They've been doing it for a long time, but they don't film in person, so it's been kind of hard to get a compelling article about them that isn't just all screenshots. They finally filmed in person, so
Wow.
yeah.
Is that the first time they met?
I think they might have known each other
Okay.
from beforehand.
All right.
But
Yeah. That's cool. That gives me something else to listen to. That'll be fun.
I mean, really, we've got whatever Ryan's working on at any given time.
Yeah.
We've got these guys.
Sounds good.
I've heard The Tempest is a really good one. Tempest? The Tempest? I don't know.
We'll send them our way.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just start doing podcast reviews. John and Justin's podcast reviews.
All right.
This one was awful. On to
Yeah.
the next.
Yep. And more on First Dibs later.
More on first.
Yep. What's their kind of main focus?
Say somewhere between racing and sarcasm.
All right.
Okay.
That sounds good.
They're you got a Ian on the left. There's the Salt and Pepper Pompadour. He gets wound up pretty good, and Dave on the right is kind of the straight man, the foil who kind of brings him down a little bit. But Ian goes on some rants. They've gone on the RMD. Actually, they were out there yesterday,
Well, what the heck?
right? I don't know. They usually just kind of jump right into it on the press vehicles, but oh yeah, that
Oh yeah.
I've seen that car.
you've seen that car.
Possibly here.
Yeah, I finally got to sit down and get all my thoughts out on paper about. Yeah, so that's actually kind of how I framed it up, as pictures of me as the time's gone on.
Yeah.
Go back up to the first page. There's very amazing photo.
Oh,
You're really
too
lingering
much.
on me in the engine bay there.
yeah, that was good. Excuse me while I page back a little bit.
That's cool though. I mean, having it documented that way with photos
See?
and
Yeah, that was me when I first got my first corporate accounting.
I thought you were going to say your pubes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
yeah. No, that was definitely a time ago. And then
I feel oddly uncomfortable.
Can I make you more uncomfortable? Terrible radio.
That's pretty
anyway,
wild.
Who's the guy in the hood?
that's also me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I beat blasted my own engine bay. Pro tip: let someone else do that.
Yeah.
That's not a good DIY. But yeah, I kind of tracked the entire period of time from 2016 to 2025. when
Wow.
That was down and then back up, and drove that down to the podcast today. So
Yeah, that's good. What would you give as advice to people that thought they wanted to buy a car and make it into a project car, and then I would tell them don't do it. Just
Let's say put your career ambitions on hold. You can't really balance the two. That's the big theme that I've found is a career and a project car don't really go together.
yeah, or anything in a project car.
When I had the DeLorean when I was a lot younger, even than that, we would work on the DeLorean after work until like 2 a.m, and then go back to work the next morning at just normal work time,
Right.
and do that repeatedly for weeks and then months. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
Like I can still do no sleep, but I'm just a zombie. I'm inoperable.
That's impressive. It's super cool that you stuck with it. And yeah, and to show, bead blasting your engine bay into where you're driving that car around today.
Well, I mean, I also I fell off several times, and I kind of go into like some of it's very warts and all. This one, like I talk about the times where I just dropped off for certain reasons, or I had some struggles during COVID, and just kind of talked about how getting the chance to walk over, because the shop that I was working on this at is really only a couple blocks from my house. I could walk over and start helping with the car, when I was getting overwhelmed by what I was seeing in the world on COVID things or whatever. So just big ups and big downs in a project like that.
No, that's really cool. That's yeah, I think that's a super neat story.
Oh yeah, I got married in there too. I talk about that. Hi Julie, I know you're watching.
Do you still have that orange jacket?
I do.
That feels like your Mercedes salesperson.
It's more of a salmon linen when you see it in person.
Yeah, that's
Boy.
it. That's it.
I just can't button it anymore.
Doesn't matter. I want a white mock neck T-shirt underneath and a gold chain and your black hair dye,
Okay.
And shave.
please.
Commando.
Commando.
Yes.
Holy cow. Yep, there's some frustrations.
Yeah, I mean, we went through our fair share of ups and downs. Wiring, I would never do wiring again. I removed and replaced every harness in that car, interior and otherwise, and that was dumb. Dash swaps or
Was the wire not working before?
some of them weren't. So I replaced it with another harness where others of them weren't. So.
Yeah.
But this is a harness that can have a DigiDash, so
Yeah. That's exciting.
yeah. So there you go. There's the before and after.
That's
I like
a cool
the,
car.
Yeah, I like the Porsche crest that's up above the alignment rack there.
Yeah, we got it aligned at Berg.
Oh, sure. Yep, familiar with those guys.
Well, good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, fantastic. There's your Lobo.
Yeah, there's my press truck that Jake took care of already. But it was so good.
I just realized I also hijacked Lewis's whole story, so
That's true.
I guess it's what's happening tonight.
That truck was so good though. There are very few press cars I would not want to give back, but that's one of them. Like, gonna go start my new life in Mexico with the $40,000 Ford.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like the wheels.
I'll see you in a decade.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, request it, John. Let's put in a
Okay,
request.
we did. Weren't you here when we requested that?
It was official.
Yes, send it. Very cool. Because I've seen Mavericks, and I don't know. Like this looks way cooler.
To go a little further in depth on the technical side, since I read the specs and everything. Sup? This actually has a lot of cool performance features to it too. I mean, it does just have like a 2-liter EcoTech or EcoBoost, but you get a faster quicking or a faster turning steering rack. There we go. You get a faster steering rack. You get a torque vectoring rear diff. You get the 7-speed dual clutch out of the European Focus ST.
Wow.
You get some really cool kind of performance goodies on top of just the appearance package. Like you get bigger brakes, you get electronically controlled suspension, just a lot of cool. Kept asking Jake while he had his truck where his track mode was, because I definitely had it.
Yeah, the Tundra does not have track mode.
Yes.
But yeah, this is a car for people who want to just hoon their car. I'll give you that. We rock paper scissors for that. Jake is determined it's a car via rock paper scissors.
I'll give it truck merit at this point. Enough time has passed. We're done arguing. We're done feuding about it. It's got truck merit. It did haul a nightstand helping my friend move. So.
That's pretty good.
That'll count.
Did put a nightstand in the bed.
Yeah. It's like we talked about this very briefly on another show. The current Ford Ranger, I would totally rock a Ranger Raptor,
Yes.
but the regular Ranger,
I think putting the Maverick out is the best thing they ever did to sell Rangers.
yeah. Well, so I mean,
They never have Mavericks at dealerships, but they say,
Right.
"Sir, can I show you the Ranger?" It's basically the same thing.
right, yeah. But I mean, this is the Ranger Raptor, of the Maverick, right?
Right.
So, no, I think it's cool. I mean, just looking at it here, I haven't seen one in person, but
Kind of initially, I was bugged by the price point because it's about $40K. Then I took a look at kind of the progression of just the base sticker price of the base Maverick. That's increased almost 10 grand in 3 years.
wow.
I think that's just the environment that we're in between the post-COVID inflation, everything.
I think when you look at the performance parts that you're getting too, it's actually a pretty decent
It's a pretty
value.
decent deal when you look past the appearance stuff. Although I'd pay 10 grand for those wheels.
That's pretty sweet.
Yep, they're good.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Nice wheels. What happens if you curb them?
Same thing.
Yeah, probably don't want to do that.
Got to get them fixed.
Went to Tri-State. It was cool. We started designing the Singer article and then turned the computer off to come down here.
Not very cool.
Cool.
It's a Singer Celica.
It's a Singer Celica GT4. Yep.
Amazing. That Singer has TRD mod flaps.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it.
Wow, look at that thing.
Wow.
Oh
what is
yeah.
that?
This Chris sat down with some beer and Chat GPT and made some new Murano cross cabs. He made one out of our buddy the Dodge Hornet.
Yep.
I don't even know what that is on the bottom left there, but he made one out of our Rogue Rock Creek. I think it's a Mazda CX-30 up there. I don't know. I'm pretty.
And it's a CX-30 on top.
I'm pretty impressed at AI just turning these things all into Murano cross cabs.
They don't still make the Murano convertible, do they?
No,
No.
I was surprised they still make the Murano.
I think I saw one of those convertibles on the road. One.
I mean, we really want to find one to review because that truly is the chariot of kings. But
Yeah, if you're watching this and you have a cross cabriolet,
Right. Yes.
leave a comment.
yeah, we
love
need
to
to have
meet
an
you.
address people can write to us at.
You can send
Yeah.
it to the Shift boardroom in my backyard.
Yeah, send it to Jake's backyard.
Shift boardroom.
Yeah. Interesting car for sure.
Yeah, this is just our little staff board acknowledgement. So this issue, whenever it comes out, marks our 3rd year of doing this.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, 12 issues of this. Well,
Wow.
12, 11 and 11.9.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Yeah.
And as always, if anyone wants to help, we
It's so easy, an 11-year-old can
you.
do it.
it's so easy that Lewis can do it.
Yeah.
What's that saying about Lewis?
What's that supposed to mean?
Tell me about writing, Lewis. How hard is it?
It's quite hard.
Yeah.
At least
Okay,
for-
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
what was the workload between Lewis and you?
Mostly me.
Yeah.
Was it mostly you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked on it together, but I wrote it.
Yeah.
Because I would say your writing this year has improved like materially.
Well, I went from elementary school to middle school, so my teachers did.
So your life got worse.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, right.
Well, I think we talked about it a lot in Red, right? The first one you wrote, and you wrote the story that you already knew. And so it was pretty easy, right? It was just a flow of consciousness. But this one, I think I challenged you a little bit and said, you know, why does anybody want to read that? What is that? Why does that matter? You know, it's the same story as last year. So tell me something different. And
did you do that before or after the show? Like, did you go out to the show looking to experience it that way, or?
We went. We were gonna write something about it. We didn't know what we would write about it, but we were gonna write something. So we took the photos that we wanted to. Should have taken notes. That would have been helpful.
I mean, I really liked the crime angle of the first one, the grifting.
yeah, that was a really cool story.
That was a hilarious story.
Yeah, it was great. And that was, I think, what was supposed to be told for that. But you can't tell the same story again. I don't think. At least that was kind of my point, is like, I don't want to read about how great of a time you had at the Quail again, because I've never been, and you know, I want to go do that, but why do you get to go? Like, tell me more about something. So that's what we asked.
What are you guys? What's your approach going to be this year, do you think?
Don't know.
It's true.
Isn't that coming up?
It's like the second or third week of August.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm now kind of piecing this together in my mind. Does your guys' summer ever stop on car things? Because you go from, you know, Pikes Peak, Quail, Morgan Adams, and there's other stuff in there.
Yeah, and then, well, I think it's basically Pikes Peak, back to school, Quail, Morgan Adams. So yeah,
Hotel party.
Hotel party. Yep.
Hotel parties is its own event.
No,
We should start sending out invites.
We should.
Bring a
You're
friend.
on that. Yep.
Bring a friend.
That's how it works. If you come up with an idea, you have to execute on it.
You should invite people with $5 McDonald's gift cards.
Well, I think, you know, having a plan for what we want to write next year is a great idea. You know, learning how to use a camera. I think that'd be a cool, you know, learning how to use a camera at the Quail,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that'd be a fun way to pitch it.
I don't know, but I'm excited to get. I hope my time off request gets granted. Yeah, he's going.
I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer, dude.
Yeah,
I have to go to that. Well, God.
yeah.
I'm not going to the Quail.
Okay.
But no, I'm going to Works Reunion for our classic.
I mean, it's still Monterey Car Week.
Yeah.
Like, damn, just
I
gotta
feel so
go to
bad for you.
Monterey.
You mentioned, yeah, you know, Julie's watching. Yeah, she is. She says, "I love this Time Capsule Audi article."
Oh,
I love you too.
Did you get married before or during?
During. Julie stumbled onto me during the DeLorean era, so I was definitely a harder worker at that point.
Stumbled onto Brendan. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, very cool.
we can do an After Dark podcast next.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la
very
la.
cool.
Speaking of approaching that topic, are you going to do your pit walk this year at Pikes Peak?
I will not be there.
You will not be there.
No, John could do it.
All right, Lewis, you and me.
I've got a friend,
Oh yeah, you got to entertain your friend too.
So your friend can be the producer.
producer.
That could be.
Hey guys, it's Lewis. Brayden, closer. I need to see. They need to see the cars also.
You need a camera assistant, so Braden will do it. You guys will be the talent. It'll
Yeah.
be perfect.
Sounds good. Yep. How do you guys figure out stories? Do you plan the story before you get the thing, or do you just go do it and then figure out what the story was?
A lot more the latter.
Yeah. I think some of the bigger things I've started to focus on, like, how am I going to frame this? But most of the time, like, a Yoder C8 experience is kind of a good example. Like, I didn't really know what we were getting into that day. We just knew that we were going to go play with some inventory. So that was kind of figure it out on the fly. I had never even been to
Goes
Fort
a
Lupton
Chevy
before.
dealership.
So yeah, it is a lot of just kind of, doing
Shifty
the
Chevys.
thing and figuring out how you
Yeah.
want to write it afterwards.
That's kind of my thought.
Jake's a lot more organized than I am. I'm shooting ahead if people just show up to where I want them to be, and then we'll figure out how to make an angle out of it.
Yep.
There have been a couple of things where like we had an angle and then we went and did whatever we were going to do, and by the time the writing was done, it was completely different from what we originally set out for. So anything can change.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yep.
Does that say an hour and 30 minutes?
It does.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well,
Yeah.
it took Brandon a while to.
That's true. So we'll
I
just
didn't know what I was supposed to do. I thought we were doing segments.
Oh, why would we do
Segments.
segments?
I don't know.
No.
Look at you guys on the couch.
know,
You
I
all
just-
fit.
We wanted to see all of you on the love
Yeah.
seat.
All right. Well.
This has been delightful.
All right.
Yes.
Good, well, good segments.
Good
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
We will be excited to see the final product, and I don't know. We'll be just as prepared next week.
Yeah, for sure. All right, for the First Dibs podcast from inside Porsche Colorado Springs, I'd like to thank you again, Shift Digital Magazine, for coming. Lewis, thank you. We'll see you again very soon producing. That's John. I'm Justin. Good night, everybody.
Good job.